Video in Photoshop. Photoshop allows us to play video within Photoshop itself. You can create your own video sequence using any digital camera and then open it in Photoshop. This is what it will look like. So you have the timeline panel that we've used previously for animation, and you can see my video there. The individual frames are contained in a video layer that you see right here. The video layer appears in the layer panel with this little film strip icon you can see in the lower right corner of the thumbnail itself. Now what's cool with playing with video in Photoshop, you can use your space bar as you do with many other video programs to play and stop the animation. You have your scrubby bar here that you can go back and forth. What you can do though is use any existing Photoshop skills on this video. So I could create and edit adjustment layers. Let's go ahead and do that. So on this layer, I can create an adjustment layer. Looking at my adjustment panel, I'll go to hue and saturation, and I'll do something super simple by going up to the presets and doing sepia. Look at my video now. It is in a sepia color tone. So it has applied this to the entire video. Okay? You can adjust the opacity if I want to. I can play with the opacity here. I'm seeing that checkerboard that's showing up below because I don't have a layer below it, but I could do that as well. I could play with the blending modes. I can make selections. I can add masks. I can paint on here. I can do cloning. So all of these Photoshop skills are available on your video. Now the movie files extensions that can be open in Photoshop, you can bring in an AVI. You can bring in an F4V, which is sort of a hybrid Flash MPEG. You can bring in an FLV, which is a Flash video. You can bring in an MOV, which is QuickTime, and that's what this is. You can have MPEG 1, MPEG 2, or MPEG 4 as well. And remember that MPEG stands for Moving Pictures Expert Group. So you can do all of these really cool things that we typically do to Photoshop images to our Photoshop video. Now, don't get me wrong, Photoshop is not a video editor. You're not going to do large videos. You're not producing large videos using Photoshop. That's much more of a Premiere thing. But you can incorporate some video. You can do a little bit with Photoshop. I want to give you a little bit of a hint here, or warning maybe, in your timeline panel. So my timeline panel is spread. I have a lot of options here. You know, I could crop this. So after my dogs jump in the water, before the hand pops up there, I could cut this and then get rid of this, delete it, whatever I want to. I've turned off the audio. There is audio as well. Now when you go down here to the bottom, you can toggle between the frame animation and the video mode for the timeline panel. If I click this, it's going to convert the timeline to a frame animation. When I continue, basically I have just two here. This one is 12.6 seconds. This is 6.03 seconds. This is the original. This is my adjustment layer that I provided. So it does compress everything to one frame. So be aware of that. If you're toggling back and forth, it compresses everything to just one frame. So this is how you play with video in Photoshop.